Hello guys, good afternoon and welcome to Example. Good afternoon everyone. Please confirm me that I'm audible and visible as well. Please confirm me. Guys, today we will discuss the mains answer writing section for the UPSC Civil Service examination. How we should write the answer for the mains perspective. What points should be involved in the mains answer writing. All this section we will discuss here. So please share this session once and then we will begin the. Okay. So answer writing is the very crucial section for the civil services examination. As you know, if you write the answer in the proper way, if you know the art of the correct answer, then you will fetch the marks in the mains examination. And the mains examination has a very crucial role in the final selection because the merit is decided on the marks of the mains examination and the personality test. So as you know that the final selection is based on the marks of the main examination plus personality test, that is popularly known as the interview. So mains examination is completely dependent on the answer writing. So if you have the good answer writing practice, if you have the good answer writing art, then you can write the proper answer. A personality test is popularly known as the interview, and this is the assessment of your personality. Okay. So answer writing is very important. So today we will deal the answer writing. We will discuss the how to write the answer in the geography and the environment section. Geography and the environment section, both section we will discuss here. So which section is important for mains examination, we will discuss here. Okay. So today let's begin the sections which is important for us. So before we start the answer writing, before we start the how to write the, we will move on the question. We should follow some instruction which is important for your mains answer writing practice. So firstly, if you look the answer sheet, that is known as the question come answer booklet. When you will appear in your mains examination, then you will get the question come answer booklet. That means in this booklet the question will already written, and the space will given for the answer writing your answer. So answer space was given, and the question that is already will on your answer sheet. So you have to write the answer on this section. So question come answer booklet. This is the replica of this question come answer booklet is like this. You can understand here. Two sides are the margin side in this booklet, and this margin side is not for you. This margin side is only for the examiner. Assessment जो कर रहा होगा उसके लिए ये होता है, ठीक है. And you have to write your answer between these margins, between these lines. Okay. So if you want to write an answer, you should firstly focus the demand of the question. You should focus the what thing examiner or the what thing is asked in your question. The first understand the question. For the better understanding of the question, you should read the question more than once. Okay, so if you read the question more than once, then you can understand, you can find out the what content we should deliver in this question, what content, what is the actually demand of that particular question. So firstly you should understand what is the demand of the question. So before we will jump to the question, you should know some instruction. The first instruction is you should firstly understand the demand of the question. Many times students are not able to understand the actual demand of the question, and they write the things whatever they know, but that content is not the demand according not demanded in the question. So if you write the things which is not in the question, that the question does not demand that things, then you will never get the good marks. Okay, so UPSC has, in the mains examination, there is also provision of the negative marking, or there is also provision of the not negative marking, this is the penalty marking. ओके, तो यहां पर आपको यह भी ध्यान रखना है कि पेनाल्टी मार्किंग का भी कॉन्सेप्ट होता है, तो इसलिए आप सभी लोगों को इन चीजों को ध्यान में रखना होगा. सो देयर इज अ provision in the mains examination, that is a penalty marking. So you have to be alert in your mains examination. Okay, so firstly the first rule for the better answer writing, to understand the demand of the question. For the understand the demand of the question, you have to read the question more than 2 or more than once. Okay, so according to me, you should read the question more than 2 times. Okay, so read the question properly. Read the question properly, and according to me, more than 2 times. More than 2 times. If you read the question more than 2 times, then you have to reflect the clear picture or the clear demand of the question. So according to me, you should read the question more than 2 times. First thing, you should follow the when you write the answer. Okay, the first demand of the question. The second thing what you should follow in your mains answer writing. Firstly, you should you demand the question. If you understand the what is the demand of the question, that means you understand the what should be written, what should be right in this question. So if you understand, then please then again make the draft of the particular question. Firstly, you make a draft of the question either in your mind, either in your rough work. So second work, you should follow that the drafting of the question. Drafting of the answer, not the question, drafting of the answer. If you make a draft before the write the answer, then you are very clear to what things is into what things you have to write in this answer and what is not in the not in your draft. Okay, so first second thing, according to me, drafting of the answer is very important. So अगर आप drafting कर लेते हो, तो drafting करने के बाद में ये चीजें आपके लिए easy हो जाती हैं. ठीक है, तो drafting of the answer कि क्या क्या चीजें लिखनी है, और रफली आप लिख लो कि जैसे कोई भी आंसर है तो उसमें क्या इंट्रो होगा. ठीक है, यानी हमें कहां से बिगिन करना, व्हाट इज द मेन पार्ट ऑफ द आंसर, मेन बॉडी ऑफ द आंसर क्या होगा, यहाँ पे आपको कौन से डायग्राम्स यूज करने हैं, कौन से आपको यहाँ पर फिगर्स यूज करने हैं, कौन से मैप्स यूज करने हैं, ये सारी चीजें. और फाइनली आपको यहाँ पर किस टाइप से कंक्लूजन देना है, क्वेश्चन का नेचर क्या है, क्वेश्चन ओपन एंडेड है या क्वेश्चन जो है वो क्लोज एंडेड है. तो क्लोज एंडेड क्वेश्चन या ओपन एंडेड क्वेश्चन के बेस पे आपको इस टाइप से आपको क्वेश्चन की ड्राफ्टिंग करनी है. ठीक है, तो सेकंड थिंग, यू शुड फोकस ऑन द ड्राफ्टिंग ऑफ द आंसर. फर्स्ट थिंग, द डिमांड ऑफ द क्वेश्चन. एंड द थर्ड थिंग, you should follow you should indulge your answer the datas which is recently published or the recent datas of the national or the international organizations during the answer writing? The first thing, question, demand of the question. You understand the demand of question. Again, you make a draft. You develop the draft, and you understand what should be right and what should be not right in the answer. And again, the recent data related to the international and the national organization. You have to collect these data related to the mains examination. Like if you want to appear in the mains examination, if you are qualified the prelims examination, then you can categorize the things and store the data, collect the data from the recent data. Like if you have the if you are going to appear in mains examination, then collect the data related to health. If you are going to the mains appear in the mains examination, you should collect the data related to security and the other things, etc. So categorize the things and collect the data. And these data will help you in your GS examination, and these data will also help you in the when you write the essay. So such type of data, you should categorize the things and store the data or collect the data from the national and international organization. You have to collect some quotes, some quotations from the important things. So these things will be help you in your mains examination. So I think these are very important things. You should follow these things before the answer writing. If you follow these things, then your answer would be a good answer, and you can fetch the marks from a examiner or a copy checker. So the question today we will discuss a question. The question is related to the Himalayan ice melting. Himalayan ice melting. Okay, the topic is the Himalayan ice melting. Recently in 2022, many institutions revealed that the rate of the melting of the glaciers on the Himalayas are very fast. If the Himalayan ice melting rate will be continue at the same as present time, then it will be very disastrous. It will be disastrous for the nation. So this is very important. This is very important topic today. So we should emphasize on this topic. What are the causes for the Himalayan ice melting, and what could be the answer? What could be the answer? Could be question can be asked in this from this topic. So if you frame a question from this topic, the topic name is the Himalayan ice melting. So what question can be framed from this topic? So question, if you want to write the question, different question. So how, a simple question firstly, how melting ice of Himalayan region can affect the agricultural pattern of region. This question is Himalayan ice melting is related to the agricultural pattern. That means the agriculture and Himalayan ice melting connection यहाँ पे आपको देखना है. Question number 1. Question number 2. Why the rate of Himalayan ice melting is high? Illustrate. ठीक है, how melting ice of the Himalayan region can affect the agricultural pattern of the region. This question is tough question. Relatively, this question is interrelated question. This question is simple and straightforward question. Why the rate of the Himalayan ice melting is high? Why this Himalayan ice melting rate is high? Illustrate. What are the reason behind this? The second question is very simple and straightforward question. And you can add this. What would be the impact of the what would be the impact of this on the region adjacent to it. Why the rate of Himalayan ice melting is high? Illustrate what would be the impact of this on the region adjacent to it. ठीक है, अब ये क्वेश्चन थोड़ा सा ज्यादा आपको देखना पड़ेगा. ये क्वेश्चन सीधा यहां से आपको क्लियर होगा. तो हिमालयन आइस मेल्टिंग is an important topic for your mains perspective, because many research organizations has revealed that the rate of the ice melting is very high, and if the rate of this continue as present time, then it would be very disastrous for the nation or the Indian nation. So firstly, you should understand the why this type of the glacial melting is the increasing. सो यहाँ पे अब देखते हैं. पहले तो हम पूरा इस टॉपिक को ही कवर करेंगे. फर्स्टली हम लोग क्या देखेंगे कि ग्लेशियल मेल्टिंग हो क्यों रही है. ठीक है, व्हाट इज द रीजन बिहाइंड द ग्लेशियल मेल्टिंग इन दिस रीजन. सो ग्लेशियल देखो, अब जब भी जैसे सपोज करो ये क्वेश्चन है, क्वेश्चन का पहले आपको क्या समझना है. यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन को रीड करते हैं. हाउ मेल्टिंग आइस ऑफ द हिमालयन रीजन कैन अफेक्ट द एग्रीकल्चरल पैटर्न. सो क्वेश्चन में क्या पूछा गया है कि ये जो मेल्टिंग आइस ऑफ हिमालयन रीजन है, इसका एग्रीकल्चरल पैटर्न पे क्या इफेक्ट पड़ेगा. ठीक है, एग्रीकल्चरल पैटर्न पे क्या इफेक्ट पड़ेगा. तो आपको यहां पे ये पता होना चाहिए कि व्हाट आर द कॉजेस फॉर द हिमालयन आइस मेल्टिंग. What is the reason why the ice melting is high, and how this ice melting can affect the agricultural pattern. See, okay, so you should understand the agricultural pattern of this region. At the present time, what is the agricultural pattern in this region, and after the glaciation, after the glacier melting, what pattern would be changed. So you have to understand the agricultural pattern of this particular area and what is the cause for the ice melting of the Himalayan region. So you can break the question into two parts. You If you understand the question into two parts, then you are able to give the answer of this question in very easy way. Okay. So and the second question, why the rate of Himalayan ice melting is higher. This question also asks what are the reason why the Himalayan ice melting is high. So here is also the reason is asked. So you have to understand what are the reason why this region has the higher ice melting. Okay, so we should understand the causes for the glacial melting. Firstly, we should understand the causes for the glacial melting. The first cause of the glacier melting is unplanned urbanization in this region. Unplanned urbanization in the Himalayan region. The first cause, very important cause, the unplanned urbanization. Unplanned urbanization means we are developing the infrastructure in this region because the urban population is increasing in the hilly region, and the most of the population is moving into the urban areas. And if you are urbanized any area, then you have to develop some basic infrastructure at that particular region, like the road, like the some buildings. So if you increase the number of the roads, if you increase the number of building in any particular area, you have to destroy the nature, you have to destroy the particular topography of that particular region. So if you destroy the particular topography, if you destroy the mountains, if you blast in the mountains, if you do the blast in the mountain, then it will affect the at that particular region. So due to the unplanned urbanization, if you increase the urbanization in this plain area, then you are moving to the heat islands. You are moving toward the heat islands. Heat islands mean if you develop the urban area, then urban area has the concrete infrastructure. Urban areas has the concrete infrastructure, and the concrete infrastructure has the potential to trap the heat, to convert the heat, to absorb the heat, and that is why this concrete infrastructure can be converted into the heat islands. So if you are urbanized area and unplanned manner, unplanned manner means unscientifically. If you follow the rule same which follow you in the plain area, if you follow the same rule in the hilly region, that means it is very unscientific or the unplanned. In the hilly region, if you want to urbanize, urbanize any area in the hilly region, so according to the hilly region, you should take the steps, and you should take the initiative according to the hilly region and the particular communities which are belonging from that particular region. You have to follow the ideas of that particular community, because the native communities has the idea which is eco-friendly ideas, because they are surviving there from a long time period, that is why they have the idea how to retain, how to sustain the things with the nature. So you have to fetch the idea from that particular community which are residing there for the long time period. So if you follow that particular idea, that means these type of the steps are the scientific steps. Urbanization is not a bad thing. Urbanization or the economic development is not a bad thing. If you urbanize the any area, if you want to develop the infrastructure in a particular area, then you have to develop the some sustainable way. You have to create the some ideas which is sustainable. So without the harassment, without any harassment to the nature, you can develop the area, and that is called the sustainable development area. So heat island, if you are urbanized any particular area, you are creating the heat island, and this heat island will increase the temperature. If this heat island will increase the temperature, that means it would be affect the ग्लेशियर्स, और इसकी वजह से टेम्परेचर बढ़ेगा तो मेल्टिंग इंक्रीज होगी, melting will be increased. So you can write this thing in your answer. The first point, this point is very valid point, and you can write this point in your answer. Second point, larger anthropogenic modifications in the atmosphere. Second point, which is cause for the glacial melting, that is given by a research paper given by a research institute, that the larger anthropogenic modification in the atmosphere. At the present atmosphere, we have the change. We create the changes in the atmosphere. We create the changes. Human being created the changes in the atmosphere. We have created the modifications in the atmosphere. So composition of gases has changed, and that is why there is a many changes has been reflected. So large anthropogenic modification in the atmosphere is also cause for the greenhouse gas effect, and you can say that the anthropogenic factors, if the atmospheric change will occur, if any change occur in the atmosphere, then it would affect the all the things. Atmospheric change means modifications in the atmosphere, means we had increased the number of the quantity of the greenhouse gases, not quantity, concentration of the greenhouse gases. Due to the increase in the concentration of the greenhouse gases, the trapping of the long wave radiation, due to the concentration of the increase in the concentration of the greenhouse gases, the trapping of the long wave radiation has increased, and that is why the global average temperature has increased, and which cause for the global warming. So this global warming due to the atmospheric change is happening, and this is also cause for the ice melting or the glacial melting. And in the Himalayan region, at the particular Himalayan region, this is also happening, that the local area atmospheric temperature, in the atmospheric composition or the atmospheric change is happening at the particular local area, and that is why this ice melting is also happening. So it is a global factor also and the local factor also. So global warming is a global factor, but the impact of the global warming at the locally level is visible. That is why it has also affected the ices or the ice melting of the Himalayan region. So in the Himalayan region, Narendra Yadav, Ravi, hello sir, hello Aarti, hi. नरेंद्र यादव सर, पीडीएफ कब मिलेगा? सर ज्योग्राफी के डेट 3 मिलता है, इंग्लिश मीडियम वाला। मुझे नहीं समझ आ रहा है क्या डेट 3 क्या? सर ज्योग्राफी का डिक्शनरी मिलता है? हाँ, ज्योग्राफी की डिक्शनरी आती है। चंदन कुमार, हाय, हेलो, ओके। सो यहां पर आपने देखा सेकेंड, सो वेदर पैटर्न, थर्ड वन इज द चेंज इन द वेदर पैटर्न, change in the weather pattern. Change in the weather pattern is also the cause for the glacial melting in this particular region. So change in the weather pattern. Why this weather pattern has been changed? This weather pattern is changed due to the global warming and the other anthropogenic factors. So anthropogenic factor is a factor, or the human being is the main cause for the changes in the earth's surface or the earth's atmosphere or the any environmental issue. So human being is reason behind the environmental issues. Okay, so third, change in the weather pattern. This is also cause for the melting of the ice, yeah, or the you can say the high rate of the melting of the ice. And the fourth one is the change in glacial volume. Change in the glacier volume. If you say that the larger glacier, the melting rate of the larger glacier is relatively low, and the melting rate of the smaller glacier is relatively high. If the rate of the melting, of the glacier is low, that means the glacier is the larger in the area. So if the area is decreasing, the rate of the glacial melting also increasing. So if this glacier has the x area, if the glacier is started to melting, then the freezing condition. So glacier is the area where the melting and the freezing condition both are simultaneously happen. Melting and the freezing both condition happens simultaneously. But when the rate of the melting is increasing than the freezing rate, then the area of the glacier is started to decrease. So if as area decreases, the rate of the melting will increase. If the area decreases, the rate of the melting will increase. So size matters in this. If the volume of the glacier will decrease, then the rate of the melting rate of the glacier will increase, and that is why this glacier will melt rapidly. So rapid melting will be happen. So this is very important. If the change in the glacier volume is also cause for the glacial melting. So these points are the cause, very important. These points are the important cause for the glacial melting at particular Himalayan region. So what will be the consequences of this particular glacial melting? So glacial melting, if the glacial melting will happen in the Himalayan region, so first thing will happen, the hydrology of the rivers will change. Hydrology of the rivers will change. Hydrology of the rivers will change means the amount of the water in the river will increase. If the hydrology of the rivers will change, then it would cause for the flood condition in this particular area. If the hydrology will change, flood condition will happen, then the persons or the peoples or the organisms or the things where economic activities which is occurring in near the rivers will destroy. Okay, so it will affect the things near the rivers. जी सर, मैं राम पुकार यादव. ओके. ओके, सो ये इस पे दिक्कत होगी. यहां पर आप देखो, उसके बाद में अब अगर ये हाइड्रोलॉजी ऑफ रिवर विल डिस्ट्रॉय या ये अफेक्ट करेगी, तो कई सारी कंडीशन हो सकती है. फ्लड कंडीशन हो सकती है. फ्लड कंडीशन के साथ साथ में जो है, जो डाउन स्ट्रीम वाटर बजट है, वो डाउन स्ट्रीम वाटर बजट डिस्टर्ब हो जाएगा. डाउन स्ट्रीम वाटर बजट, इम्पैक्ट्स, ठीक है, ग्लेशियर्स melting impact. So downstream water budget will change or will affect it. This will affect. Okay, so downstream water budget. If the downstream water budget, that means the water pattern will change. If the water pattern will change, it will impact on the society. It will impact on the economic activities. So downstream water budget will affect, then it will impact on the social activities or the society. It will impact on the economical activities or the economy. So it has the impact on the social economic development. So it will increase. So it will affect the social economic development. So downstream water budget. So if the water will increase ice melting due to the ice melting or the glacial melting, then the hydropower plants which has been established, this will also affect it. Hydropower plants will be affected. If the hydropower plants will be affected, then the energy generation will be affected. Energy generation. If the energy generation will affect, then economical activities will also affect economy and the society, social factors. If the energy generation will stop, all the activities which requires the energy will be affected, and the most of the activities which requires the energy belongs from the economic activities. If the economic activities will disturb, then the social activities or the social order will also disturb. So both are the interconnected. So it will also affect the hydropower plants energy creation and the economic and the social effects. So these are the some important factors which are very important factors which is affected by the glacier melting. Next, when the glacier will be melt, the glacial hazards will increase. Glacial hazards will increase. Glacial lake outburst flood. It increased the flash flood. It increased the flash flood. It increased the mud flow. And the it will, if the glacier will melt, okay, and etc., mud flow, etc., these hazards, the frequency of these hazards will increase. The frequency of these hazards which are caused by the glacial melting, frequency will be increase of these hazards. Next, impacts of the glacier. You know about the one concept of the isostasy. In the geography, one concept is discussed, that is called the isostasy. Isostasy means all the columns of the earth surface which has the higher density, which has the higher length, both are the established at the line of compensation which is below the surface. So this is the, if the surface there is some column which are very high on the very high or the very heighted, like the mountains. If the Himalaya is located at the on the earth surface and this height is very high, so and the another part on the at the same time, the some factors or the some area which is located below the earth surface, and both are in the balance condition. Why these are balance condition? So this is explained in the concept of the isostasy. In the isostasy, there is a set that the all the things is based, all the columns are based on a line of compensation. Based on the line of compensation. And this balance condition is called the isostasy. If any mountain has the glacier, that means it is a balance condition. This mountain has the glacier, the pressure of this glacier is balanced on this line of compensation. If the weight of this glacier will remove from this particular area, then this column will try to maintain the balance of this particular line of compensation. And if this glacier will melt, then the upward force will apply, and this will cause for the earthquake. this would cause for the earthquake. If this column will try to balance itself, then it would be cause for the earthquake. So the concept of the isostasy or the concept of the stability of that particular land surface will be the stability of that particular land will be the disturbed, and it would cause for the any disaster like the earthquake and the volcanic activities. Okay, so you can, the next impact is, if the glacier melting rate will be high, then it would cause for the earthquake generation. Why this earthquake will happen? You know about the concept of the isostasy. That means this column has in the stable form. If you remove this particular, the weight of this particular region, then upward force will apply, and due to this upward force, this would be cause for the earthquake generation. So this earthquake generation can be seen in this region. So next is the disastrous condition. This is the impact on this particular area. Now, according to the question, we should follow the, what is the relation with the agriculture? What is the relation of the ice melting with the agriculture? If the ice melting will happen, then the water hydrology will be changed. The hydrology will be changed. If the hydrology or the water will increase in the rivers, water will be increased in the rivers, then the rivers will increase, water will be increased in the rivers, and it would cause for the flood condition. So if it would cause for the flood condition, where there is a water requirement is not so much, that region will be waterlogged area. That region will be converted into the waterlogged region. If the waterlogged region, then there is an agricultural pattern will be changed. The area where the present time the crops are the agriculture of that particular crop which are not require so much amount of the water, this area is a waterlogged, then it is replaced by the high water requirement or the high water required crops. The crops, this high water required crops will replace this particular area. So what agricultural pattern will be changed? The area where the agricultural such crop was harvesting which are not require the so much amount of the water, if that particular area will come permanently waterlogged, then you should change the your agriculture pattern which is require the high amount of the water, or you should require you will change the crop, or you will replace the crop from that particular crop which require the more amount of the water. But other factors is also important for the agricultural activities. Only water is not a factor which can affect the agricultural pattern. So other factor, if the other factor is favorable in the condition, then you can replace, otherwise you cannot replace, and there is a destroy, or there will be the disturbance in the agricultural cropping. So it will affect all the things in this particular region. So you should understand the things. Firstly, the agricultural pattern, how agricultural pattern would be changed, or how agricultural pattern would be affected from this particular activity. So according to me, I think you have some idea about this ice melting, and we will meet in the next class. So your next class is going to begin from 2 p.m. So be ready for the next class. We will meet in the next class. So please share this session and and subscribe the channel. And this channel is completely dedicated to the English medium student and the aspirants which are keen to prepare, which are preparing for the civil services in the civil services examination in the English medium. They can join this session, or they can join this channel. So it would be very helpful for you, and we will meet in the next class. Thank you so much.